What's up, guys? It's Carmelina here with Hunter with the TROD gang. I say gang, it's just me and him tonight. We were going to have four of our guys here, but obviously with our adult schedules, we were just not able to get here all at the same time. But for anybody that's out there going to join us, awesome. If you're not going to join us, you are missing out. But we're going to kind of go over a couple topics that I think will be pretty cool to discuss. His opinion, my opinion on it. Hopefully, if there's anybody in the stream that's able to put their 2 cents in, we're always down for that. We are going to do questions at the end of it. Excuse me. Questions at the end of it to kind of answer if anybody's out there has any general questions for us or opinions or anything along those lines. But let's get this started. So today, or not today, but this past weekend was the first kind of airsoft event we did as a team. Which was Sunday at Battlecat Sports. That was the first time this year, which I know it's kind of March, basically almost April. But again, a lot of us have adult lives, and airsoft isn't definitely not on the top of the list. It's definitely up there. But for a lot of us, we still have other main things that we have to get done. So unfortunately, this is the first time we got out this year. But we're started off right at our local field, Battlecat. But how'd it go for you this weekend?
Good as to be expected, I guess you could say. Hadn't played in a while, so, he's kicking off the dust a little bit. Hadn't been Battlecat personally in a while. All I've really done lately is play SpeakyB last year, a little bit of outdoor. But, as far as like a public play standpoint, this was the first time I've been out in over a year. Definitely over a year. And, it was fun for the most part. It's typical public play for the most part,
Yeah, the public play, and that's another topic I guess I want to start at is, so we play SpeakyB. If you guys don't know what we do, we're mainly a SpeakyB team. We do outdoor stuff. We always do public play. We're playing any type of airsoft, but the team we've created was mainly focused on SpeakyB. So is public play something that you think we have to do, we should do to keep everything up, or do you think it's not really?
In most people's aspect, unfortunately, we have like a little bit of a downside. Say you go out, you build you a new gun, you want to test it out before you hit the field at SpeakyB. I think public play is a great aspect to do it at. But, unfortunately, with us, our FPS rules here are 330, where we play SpeakyB's 400. So we do have like a little bit of a downside. But, playing public play, I think it's a great thing to do. It definitely allows you to keep in shape, keep your shooting up, keep your just movement, staying fluid with it, not going, cold turkey and then going straight into the, the competition side. So, I see it being good and bad.
I think it's weird. The general stuff that you're supposed to work on in SpeakyB, which is sharp shooting, like snap shooting, watching your movements, keep an eye on the field, that kinds of stuff. Some of it can transfer over into public play. Specifically, we're talking about Battlecat Sports, going from the one side of the field. There's no way that you can see the other side of the field. There's so much in the way. SS, I believe you can, in some aspects, you can see from one side to the other. Not a lot of it, but you can. But Battlecat, there's no way, shape, or form. So that part is a little bit different. But it did this weekend definitely shook the dust off for me because I was able to kind of focus on making the right moves, being precise with my steps, and that snap shooting got me back to working on that, because if somebody's hosing down the alley, you really only got a couple chances to get a shot off. So
especially when we go out there and most of our field runs AGs, and every single one of us except one of the guys was on a pistol. So, you do have to snap shoot. You can't just come out around the corner hosing, praying. It don't work like that, especially when you're playing with a pistol.
There was a lot of situations that we were talking about. I'm glad I brought a pistol, and that's the thing. The public play is really, the one thing I do like about public play is it really goes back to the fact of we're there to have fun. We're there. Right. We're playing airsoft to have fun. It's not really supposed to. It is competition. Everybody loves competition, but in the general aspect, it's supposed to be a fun thing to do. And when we come to when we do tournaments, especially me, because I'm usually the tech guy, guru guy, everything guy, that I bring like 4 backpacks, usually 3 guns, 2 to 3 guns, pistol. I usually have everything with me when we come to tournament just to make sure I don't leave nothing behind. Not to mention it's an hour 45 to get to SS from us.
Give or take.
Give
a
or
little
take.
bit.
So it's a long drive where when we go to Battle Cat, bringing a pistol and nothing else, I have my box for the pistol, my backpack to carry BBs and gas, and then my belt, and that's it. And it's really nice. That's all I care about. This past weekend, unfortunately, I put all the parts in a gun that I haven't touched in about 2 years that was supposed to be ready to go, and it did not do well. So I had to do a little bit of teching at the field, unfortunately. But I say all that is we brought there to go pistols, but I kind of wish I had an AEG this past weekend.
Oh yeah, I'll jump on it and say it because I know you're trying to beat around it, but I'll go on and say it. When you have cheaters and people that don't like to call hits, pistol, yeah, you can make it hurt, shoot, but I'm limited to 32 rounds, only so fast of a trigger pull. You slap an AEG, you can make it hurt just a little bit worse and make them throw that hand up. Especially when you have a big body count, and Battle Cat's such a small arena, it's a lot faster pace, which I thoroughly enjoy. But when you have, 10 people on each side, it's a lot funner. You get into 12, 13 plus people on each team. The field's just so small. It's constantly shooting, and running a pistol is challenging, which is a good reason for us to run it. It makes us work, makes us think, that. But in the end, if people are not doing the fair part of airsoft, it definitely kills the vibe fast.
And not only that, that's kind of a whole alley to go down, because I know with the AUG, especially usually the ones that we usually build are high-speed SSGs or even some DSGs, that trigger pull is barely anything, and you're able to when you snap shoot, you can almost snap shoot 2 shots and then pull back in just because how fast it is. With the pistol, it's a little bit harder to do that. So that's really nice that you can at least double tap and get those shots to kind of clarify if you're down. But the one thing that was really nice, or the one thing to go back to public play, is it kind of goes back when you're in Speed QB. You kind of work together. Each player kind of works with each other, especially your frontline guy works with your backline guy and that kind of stuff, and you're always communicating. Where public play, at least every time I go, especially we usually don't end up on the same team anyways, is it kind of end up playing by yourself. You're with your team and everybody has their same team goals, but for some reason, even if hey, I'm going down the alley, it's usually you going down the alley. Very rarely is it you and 2 other guys going down the alley. So on that aspect, that I wish I had AEG, so at least I can cover myself or lay down some cover fire for myself, because I'm getting ready to go down the alley, at least pushing back. We're with the pistol. I kind of have to.
The pistol.
The pistol. We know with the pistol and going down. With the pistol, you kind of have to maneuver slowly, and that's going to kind of lead into the next thing or you can be some of these. What's the word? I wouldn't use the word speed softer or speed QB player.
Turds.
Sure. We'll go with the people, because they're not. Some of them are adults, some of them are kids, that they just think running down the alley, shooting every which random way to get to the other side is speed QB, is speed soft, and it's far from. I don't see anybody ever doing that in a real speed QB match. But I guess that's the thing. If you can do that, make it to the other side, you got that patch of I'm a speed soft.
Man, it's one of those things. The kids, especially in our area, I can't speak for all areas, but we have a younger age group in our area compared to a lot of other fields. The kids think it makes the best content out there when they go running through at youth night or doing something like that and shooting all these little kids in rentals and all this and that. Just hosing them, and there's no strategy. They're really just running up the middle, down the sides, wherever they can go in a straight line and just spraying. And, tagging as many people as they can. Well, cool, you got a lot of body count, but, in reality, that's not what I find cool. From, like, my aspect, when I watch people shoot or do those content videos, all I want to see is somebody actually, using their head, maybe using a little bit of skill. It takes absolutely no skill to run down the middle, hosing and praying and shooting everybody you can. And that's the biggest misconception in our area especially. Speed QB is running down the middle, hosing, and kids are like, yeah, I'm Speed QB. No, you're not. You are a toxic speed softer. Speed QB is a totally different aspect. You can't just, I can't say it, you can't say can't, but 9 times out of 10, you as soon as the round starts, you can't just take off down the side and hose everybody and win the round.
And that's the thing, the hosing part of it is whenever anybody sees Speedsoft from the outside, that's all they see is just laying. I mean, speak for myself, I'm a backline player. I carry 1,070 rounds into a match, 7 mags. And to think that I'm almost, not all the time, but most of the time I'm out of bullets at the end of it, you're like, oh, you must be hosing down the whole time. I'm shooting a lot of bullets, and I'm shooting precise shots, but the difference is I'm trying to keep cover fire. I'm trying to keep people down. I'm trying to keep them in their corner. I'd be nice to kill somebody, obviously, but I'm really laying a lot of shots down where my frontline players with the pistols are trying to choose their shots. So there's a reason why I'm hosing down, and that's to go to the fact of this past weekend, I didn't get hurt that much, but you got lit up.
Yeah, man, a few of us got like absolutely peppered, and that's like one thing for any of you guys watching this. I want you to know that like a lot of our young kids in our field that follow us, you guys always claim SpeedQB, you do all these things. If you can take the shots of a public field play at Battle Cat Sports where going in you're going to get overshot, you're going to get shot point blank, and 9 times out of 10, if you got a lot of people, you're going to get friendly fired. SpeedQB is a breeze as far as the pain side. Mm-hmm. SpeedQB, the FPS is 400 FPS or 1.45 joules if you're running HPA. I can tell you when I go play there, you see the videos and you see people like him or, your big guys like Demo and those guys. I mean, they're just hammering. But I don't get lit up as bad playing SpeedQB as I do at a public field.
And I'm just going to add a little bit to it. Battlecat Sports is where our main field's at. So he's saying all this is happening in Battlecat Sports. But it happens at SS. It happens at Fort 13. I'm sure it happens at Tax City too.
Oh, absolutely.
And so that's why I think it has nothing to do about the field that you're at. It's doing the public play. You're just going to have those bad players. And that's the thing. It doesn't have to do with, we were talking about it earlier. It frustrated me this weekend that we were in a room. Obviously, it was, for some reason, a lot of SpeedQB players there, which is cool to see. I'm going to turn this down. There was a lot of SpeedQB players there, and then you have Battlecats really known for their Milsim players, and it was, I would say, almost 50-50 this weekend. And somebody made a comment, all right, let's break out the elephant in the room. I know we have a lot of Speedsoft players. I know we have a lot of Milsim players, but we need to play equally, and we need to have good, everybody call their hits and all this kind of stuff. And it frustrated me because you brought it up. The only reason that, it doesn't matter if you're a SpeedQB player or a Speedsoft player or a Milsim player, toxic is toxic. SpeedQB players and Speedsoft players really get hammered the most because we're known to be in close quarters and laying down fire. Where Milsim is, they have bigger fields, so it's just not focused more towards them. It's more focused towards Speedsoft. But I don't think it has anything to do about being a Speedsoft or being a Milsim player. Toxic is toxic, and you're going to have it at every field.
I mean, it don't matter if you're a Speedsoft player or Milsim guy. If you take off running down the field and you're just hosing and praying and just hammering that trigger and shooting everybody you can, I mean, that's toxic. I mean, there's no written rule that says you can't do it. Mm-hmm. But it's really not cool. And that's coming from people, us, we're a SpeedQB team, Speedsoft team, we do a little bit of Milsim, but it's not cool.
And it just creates a bad name for Speedsoft in general because I know every field we go to, especially in fields that are not strictly, but are high known for their Milsim, as soon as we show up in our gear, which is what we like to rep, we like to rep our team, our TROD. We're not going to show up in military attire with a huge vest and everything like that when we're going to be playing indoors in a close arena. We want to be comfortable. We want to be light. So when we show up, it's like all eyes are on us. Oh, here we go. We got Speedsoft players coming in. All hell's going to break loose. And it has nothing to do about it. It's just what we've adapted to, what the culture, it's what it seems like, where it's not true. It has nothing to do about specifically Speedsoft or specifically Milsim. It has to do with those players, and those players are the ones that need to, I guess I'm going to use the word, grow up. I think the only reason you're hosing down is because you don't know what you're shooting at. If you think if you shoot all those bullets down that way, you're going to hit something.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, it takes no skill whatsoever for you to go run and just hose people down and take off running down the middle. I mean, let's take an example. Everybody almost in the airsoft community knows SYG Sosa. Go watch one of his videos. It's more skill based. You see him. Yes, he gets a lot of body counts. Yes, he's running, but he's not running straight up the middle down Tac City or wherever they play, hosing and then coming around the corner, bang, 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 and shooting the whole time. He's moving, and he's constantly moving. He's one tapping. He's one balling. He's a couple shots here. He's there, but he's not just hosing to get those kills. Mm-hmm. He's moving, and it looks. When you watch that, you're like, man, that guy's got skill. He's actually a good player. But then when you watch some of these other guys, and I'm not naming names, but you go watch some of these other kids and adults, they're just, as soon as the whistle blows, gone straight down the middle. Boo, 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 boo. And then, the bad part is you slow down those videos and you're watching these kids get pinged running down the middle. They're not calling it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it gets me worked up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's just why I wanted to bring up that what do you need to be a great Speedsoft player? Or what do you need to have skill-wise to be a good Speedsoft player? And it's real basic stuff. You just need to... what am I trying to say? In the speed QB aspect, or when you're on the field, we do shoot a lot of shots, but the stuff you have to work on is your precise shots. Working right arm, working left arm, being able to snap shoot. And basically, I know my biggest problem, because I'm not used to it, I'm still got a lot to learn, is reading the field. And technically, you can use this in public play. But these one-on-one matches that you keep popping up lately in the last couple months have been really interesting because they aren't shooting, they're trying to pick and choose where to be at the right time, which is the main part of Speed QB, or trying to get to the other side. And how do you do it? Crawling on the floor, kneeling down like army crawl, just trying to get where you need to go. And that's where you can bring from Speed QB, or not Speed QB, but in public play, you can kind of learn, hey, let me try to get around this corner, let me try to get around that corner, if I get to that wall. But walking from one side to the other, just going, there's nobody ever used that in Speedsoft or Speed QB.
No, if you're going to play, you want to go to public play and you say, okay, we get asked this a lot from a lot of the kids and teams in our area. What can we do at BattleCat that's going to make us a better Speed QB team? Okay, first, you need to go play Speed QB. Playing BattleCat and saying, oh, we're going to play Speed QB and jump from BattleCat and go dominate Speed QB, it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's just not. So what you can do at BattleCat, and I've told my guys before, play with your offhand. If you're a right-handed shooter, play with your left hand. Get that non-dominant hand up to par. Mm-hmm. Be accurate with it. Be fast with it. And another thing, too, is changing levels. You do that. If you're standing up here, peeking the corner, bang, 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 and then you go back in, don't pop right back out, because a smart player is going to already be there tapping, waiting for you to come back out, and you're hit. Mm-hmm. Change your levels. Maybe only drop a few inches. Keep that target up and down and moving in and out. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do in like that aspect as far as a public play that you can take to a Speed QB game and be a better off.
Yeah.
But as far as, running around and just doing what you public kids like to do, if you do decide to ever step on a Speed QB field, it's not going to work. And that's a different topic, but I just got to throw it out there. If you're going to say you're a Speed QB team, go play Speed QB. Mm-hmm. Don't just say, I'm a Speed QB team, and you've been saying that for a year, or you've been saying that for 8 months, and you've never even played.
Yeah.
It's...
Well, and that brings me up to... So, we talked about it in the past, and we've had personal discussions about it. 413. So, all these... When you think of Speedsoft, you think of Speed QB. That's why we keep getting our words mixed up. Is Speed QB is a company, and is a label, almost like, I guess, like NFL, exactly. Where you have football. Speedsoft, and somebody can correct me because I'm not 100% sure on this, but from my understanding, Speedsoft is the sport. Milsim is the sport, where Speed QB is a name. So
Speed QB is kind of like a name / play style. Like you get it. So like you have your, when you play paintball, which I used to play, you got your woods ball, but you got your speed ball. It's and that would be kind of like Milsim being your woods ball, speed soft being your speed ball, and the actual format of Speed QB is an actual format / company.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And that's where you were talking about if you want to say you're a SpeedCube player or a SpeedSoft player, you need to play SpeedSoft. And 413 has a field they call Splash SpeedSoft. When I first looked at the rules and everything like that, I personally wasn't much of a fan of them just because the whole toxic side of what SpeedSoft is known for and what people don't like about SpeedSoft, a lot of the rules at 413 kind of lean on that side, which is kind of we're not much of a fan of. Where SS plays by Speed QB rules, which we're more of a fan of. And at first we talked about I'm not gonna go 413 just for that reason. And I was sitting here and looking at all the teams that are going to there, or at least trying it out and stuff like that. And I thought to myself SpeedSoft is still a sport. Yeah, we play Speed QB. Yeah, we play NFL. When I raced cars, I did fast track racing series, but I still raced different other classes or different other companies, networks, whatever we were kind of describing. So 413, and I say unfortunately that wouldn't be the right word. The 413 is a field, which is what we don't have. Battle Cat we had 2 years ago. We were doing Speed QB there, actual Speed QB. They allowed us to be a part of it and try to help promote it, and it did not work out. And I think for the reason why it didn't work out is mainly that zone, Anderson, South Carolina, just doesn't have the grounds to make Speed QB work as much as we really wanted it to. And I don't think 413 will be able to do the same thing. I could be wrong though. Just because they're more towards Georgia. I think SS has a fantastic thing going on down there. I hope they keep it up, and I hope they grow it like I think they will. But 413 at least has a field, which is more than we have here, more than we have in Anderson. So I'm down to go. I mean, rules I'm not much of a fan of, but, it's better than not playing at all.
Yeah, I'm the opposite with him. I mean, I'm not sitting here. We're not doing this just to make conversation, but, for y'all. This is something we literally talk about, and I'm personally against it. It's just because I enjoy Speed QB. I've come such accustomed to what SS has done, what the SYG guys have created. I've come to really enjoy it. I appreciate the rules that they have in place. But when you go to the Splash Soft, whatever, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong.
I think it's Splash Speed Soft.
Whatever it is, you're taking out rules that I feel like are in Speed QB for a reason. You're taking out the trigger guards. You're allowing elongated double tap triggers. There's no mag cap. You can run a drum in there. I mean, to me, it takes some skill out of Speed QB players. Counting your shots. Only doing this, doing that. Really working your fingers versus putting. I mean, if you can fit it in a trigger guard, go for it. There's no rule that says you can't.
Yeah.
But and like SS has implemented a rule, so you have to have your hand on the gun. And there's none of this, holding the rifle here and doing this thing. All that's legal at Splash Soft thing. And I just personally don't have any interest in playing that. Not to mention, they only have like 7 barriers on the field.
Yeah.
And the field is tiny.
And I think that's the thing about it is why I'm definitely going to go and excited to go to get something, to do something different, and where I can still learn is, when it comes to me being a SpeedSoft player, I'm no Sosa, I'm no SYG player, I'm no LTD. I am far from that, and I have a lot of work to do. But I encourage, as much as I'm not much of a fan of 413's, how they have their rules laid out, but I know they're trying to attract a wider crowd. They just said, hey, you want to play a competition, a field, come come to our field, come play, come compete, compared to the public play, get a different aspect of it. So they're inviting more people here, where SS is more, we're gonna play by these rules. Do you want to play the sport? Do you want to play NFL? Do you want to play Speak UB? Here, this is what we're gonna offer you. 413 is more wider to allow more people to come. So I get all that, but I need practice, and I think 413 will allow me to practice, and it's not as far. So traveling at least an hour 30, maybe hour 45. 413 from us is, I probably could get there in less than an hour. So it's somewhere that's a little bit closer, another field to try out, to get practice at, because I still got a lot of work to do, and I think there's players out there that probably feel the same way, or they should. If they think that they can go out and never play Speak UB and think they can take on teams like SYG and LTD and Union and all those kind of stuff on their first try, is got to learn real quick that they are far from it. Even when we face those teams, and we've fallen pretty hard, but we're able to compete against them. I've learned where we're strong, and I've learned where we're weak, and I can work on that in places like 413. What's your thoughts about in the future bringing Speak UB back to BattleCat? Do you think that's a possibility?
No. Capital N, capital O, exclamation point. No.
Why is that?
Speak UB is not meant for BattleCat. Let's just put it that way. It's, the guys at BattleCat, Chad and them, they got a really good thing going already. Their youth night is working well for them. Speak UB is, it requires, they don't have the space to just leave a field up, so they have to, bring in their guys, come in, tear down the public play field, set up the Speak UB field, and then even grab some extra hands like us and some of the other guys that are out there to help tear it down, set it up. It's just BattleCat's customer base is not there for Speak UB, and I just don't think it would ever go, because even in our area, I mean, there's teams that are in our area now. You got the TDC guys, and they're a cool group of kids. I mean, they got a lot to learn, and they know it. And that's why I find them a cool group of kids. That's the longest a team's ever stayed together. I mean, what are they going on, like maybe 8 months, 9 months, year, somewhere in that range? That's the longest a team's ever stayed together in our area.
Yeah.
And, it's not like, you go to Georgia where there's like 8, 9 teams. BattleCat's only known for maybe 2 or 3 at a time, and one of them being us.
Yeah, that's the one thing 2 years ago why we tried really, really hard, and I think if we would have done the same thing that we did 2 years ago today, I think we would have had better results, but it still probably wouldn't have been good enough. But back then we had our team, there was another team, and then one team that was coming from Virginia. That's it. That was the 3 main teams. North Carolina, sorry. I apologize. North Carolina. After that, you would have some stragglers. Later, they were building teams there to just try to get it to work, and they just couldn't keep the team together. Even the second team was breaking apart and still couldn't keep it together. So I do think what we did back then would work better now, because there is more teams involved. There is more people involved. I feel like it could work nowadays, but my problem that I do agree with is the location. SS is really SS and 413 have a great thing going where they actually have a field set up and they're done. They maneuver it or adjust it during week to week, but for the most part, their public play is different than their Speak UB play. So that's a big thing where BattleCat doesn't have that. So I do say that I agree with you there. I think if they had some space to do it in the future, I think it could be a strong thing to have. But they'd have a lot of work to go before they get to that aspect.
They're saying there's an echo. They can hear an echo on the video.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Let's take a look. I appreciate anybody that's on there. Say that I agree with you there. I think if they had some space to do it in the future, I think it could be a strong. Let's do this. But they'd have a lot of work to go before they get to that aspect.
Where you see? Who said there was an echo?
Oh, really? Let's
Leanne? Oh. Your wife's calling you out.
Oh, I knew it.
She's being supportive. I mean, I gotta say, I've seen a lot of wives over the years, and, I've never found one as supportive as yours. I mean, she supports
She's
us.
so
She
supportive.
supports us doing this. She
She-
supports airsoft.
She let me get this gun. It's a brand new gun.
I mean, she is supportive,
I'm
guys.
telling you.
We got to give a shout out. And look, I got my future wife sitting behind here right now working the cameras. I mean, so we're in a little bit of a break right now because Kyra's trying to fix the little bit of an echo that she said we got going on. But yeah, guys, shout out to the wives of TRD.
Woo, woo, woo.
Shout out.
Hey,
Technically, two.
yeah, it's right. There's 2.
You're getting married next year.
And you know what? When we post this officially, 3.
3.
Well, somebody else has got to watch it. I'll show my dad if all that matters.
No, we're talking about TRD wives. The wives of TRD.
No, she's talking about only 2 people watching the show.
No, there's 4.
I didn't say that. I was talking about the wives.
She's talking about wives.
We got 4 people. Hi. Hey, people.
One's probably Leanne,
3. Hey, that's 3 people.
The supportive wife.
the supportive wife. You're right.
All right. I wonder if that fixed it. If anybody knows, let me know. I'm going to turn this back up.
But yeah, where was we at?
Okay.
That is perfect.
Perfect. All right.
Forgot.
There was a double feed, so I think
talking about Battle Cat Speaky B.
Okay, yeah, Battlecat Speaky B. Not gonna happen. I wish it does. They have like he said, great thing going with the youth. Actually, they have a great thing going with the youth. If you are a parent and you have a kid that is between the ages of 8 and 13, and
10 and 13.
oh my man, sorry.
Actually,
10.
it's 10 and 15. As long as you don't drive yourself.
Well, 15 you can drive yourself. So
No, you have to be dropped off by a parent. You cannot drive yourself to the youth night.
oh my goodness. All right. Well, then 10 to 15. If you have a kid from 10 to 15 and you want to get rid of them for a few hours, drop them off at Battlecat Sports.
They're certified.
They are certified babysitters. I promise you that. But they'll have a great time. The youth night is growing. It's crazy the numbers that they are getting at youth night compared to what we're getting at public. Public's still getting better, but the youth just killing it usually every week. But anyways, one thing that was posted this weekend, or not this weekend, but a couple days ago, or at least I saw it a couple days ago, is Demo did an interview with himself, but it was SYG videoing him, kind of a questionnaire type of thing of questions he saw on his phone or on his chat. And the one thing he said that I really wanted to bring up is he talked about, or the question was, what does SpeedSoft or SpeedQB need to take it to the next level? Obviously, the level that he's probably referring to is probably paintball. Paintball is such at a great position right now. Shoot, the NXL tournament they do every year down in Florida has, I think, 1,000 teams or 3,000 teams, something crazy.
It's big.
But he brought up a good point. He goes, the sport of SpeedSoft needs help from the community. I'll get my words right. Help from the community to better. I will talk correctly. I promise. The sport of SpeedSoft needs help from the community to be better at reffing. That's what it was. And that's not the exact wordage he used. But the long story short is we need better refs. Unfortunately, people are not calling their hits, especially in the heat of the moment, whether they're not just calling them at all or not even feeling them. There's a laundry list.
Or refs are being biased.
Or refs are being biased. There could be those. Some toxic ref. You can have toxic players, but you can also have some toxic refs. Where I feel like that if the community got in and just helped out with that, if you want to grow the sport, help. That's all I would say we need at this point. I know we talked about in the past, which is still a biased thing, so it would be pretty rough, but I think it'd be the best way to do it, is have a teams help out with the reffing. I know that that's probably going to be frowned upon to the fact of that's biased. Oh, I want this team to win, not that team. So I'm going to call these hits. you're going to have that, but that's the same way as the refs are now. I don't want that team to win. I want to have this team. They have their personal preferences. So I feel like that if you can at least get more eyes on it and hope that they're good, true eyes, more eyes are better than none. So I feel like if you can get maybe some teams involved or more people involved, I think that could really help our sport.
I think you can make a difference. I agree with Dylan. I would agree. Actually, I was playing Call of Duty with him the other day when we was on Twitch. And he asked me, this was kind of questions he was popping off me and another guy. And my whole thing is, man, I agree, the community is what we need. And it's going to take all the big name guys. And I don't even really consider us a big name. Some people would. I don't. But if you're a reputable team, let's just change the big names. If you're a reputable team and you have some type of following, you got to lead by example. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be going out here posting those toxic videos that we talked about. You don't need to be doing those things. You need to be leading by example and showing everybody what Speed QB / Speedsoft is. And if you do that, then these younger kids that are coming up, younger teams, they'll look at you because they look up to you. They'll say, man, that's what we need to do. And then eventually the trend will kick on, and then we actually might get a little bit more recognition for what is being done. Mm-hmm. I mean, the DreamHack thing, when those guys went out there 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. That was huge.
Yeah.
That's never been done, and that was a step in the right direction. That means people are starting to notice us. People are starting to notice what the sport could be or is. And that's where I feel like it's going to take the community as a whole to start leading by example and showing what SpeedQB, Speedsoft, the community is. And I'm not, I don't expect people to go out here and be all, one bullet here, one bullet here. No, I know it's not like that, but you can't do the toxic stuff and expect to get somewhere with it.
And there's more than being toxic on the field, too. I feel like this whole thing's about being toxic, but I'm hoping that this will maybe correct a lot of issues or answer some questions. But you can be, it technically wouldn't be off the field, but it can be off the field. More than just overshooting, more than not calling it hits, you can be toxic beyond that. And that's the other thing that I will say I am proud of our team for. Most of the time we're pretty good at it. Sometimes we slip because, tensions reach. But we're pretty quiet of a team, I feel like, and I could be wrong. But I feel like that whenever we go anywhere, we usually stay to ourselves. We're usually the ones that, I got a phone call. Hold on a sec. This better be worth it. Sorry, guys. It's my wife, and she's about to pop. So, hang on a sec. It was an apology call. So we're good. We're good, folks. But anyways, we're more of a quiet team compared to most. I see a lot of teams that anything that happens, I can speak of a team offhand that usually wears blue jerseys, that anything that happens, it's like, yeah, you got killed, get out my house, get out my field, or if they get hit, they're like, you didn't hit me. Like, it's like they're creating problems, where I feel like our team usually is pretty good at it, that as soon as the round's over, we get our stuff, move to the other side. As soon as that round's over, maybe go back to the other side or walk off the field. I feel like we're good at that. Sometimes, again, tensions rise, we get frustrated, but we usually let team leaders to take care of it. But for the most part, I think
that, or we just fuss between ourselves.
That's also true, which is not a bad thing. I feel like you need to let off some steam.
We it's not like we go out here and we're like, and we know we got cheated against. That is perfectly fine. Nah, we usually just huddle up away from everybody else. But
thank you for letting us play today.
No, I mean, it's not like that. But we don't just lash out at the other team like, guys, you cheated. Oh my god, you. And then it just causes problems. And then everybody's arguing. And then we look bad. They look bad. It makes the field look bad. It makes Die look bad. That's not what we're out to do.
Yeah.
We just keep it in, and if it's something we really need to talk about, usually the guys will come to me, tell me. I'll go talk to whoever's in charge, whether the head ref. If it's bad enough, we're going to talk to the manager, owner. Whoever needs to know is who we're going to tell. But, sometimes we just, fuss amongst each other, and sometimes we got cheated, and we're like, it's not even worth fussing about, man.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how many times we've done that where it just really wasn't worth it, especially with all these practices that we'll just do the practice. Felt like something was not right. Maybe get to the management, and if it doesn't get processed properly, all right, we'll just move on to the next week. It is what it is. I mean, you're going to have those situations, but going above and beyond, yelling at people, calling people out, saying they ain't worth a crap, cussing about it. I mean, all that kind of stuff just, again, goes back to the toxicity that we don't need it. It's not worth it. Yes, if you get cheated out, I'm not saying walk away. If you got cheated out, if you believe you got cheated out, see the proper management, because that's what they're there for. The referees, that's what they're there for. And it goes back, I think we talked about it in the past, that cheating, I want to blame the player, because it is the player's fault, obviously, for not calling it. But I put a solid 50% on the ref. And if the ref ain't calling it, that's kind of a main problem for me. That's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of like in the racing aspect, and that's what I go back to, because that's my whole background. In the racing aspect, that if you cheat, you're, as another racer, if this guy cheated as another racer, when you go to tech, you're hoping that tech did his job to find his problem. And that's why I think the refs are big. They need to be that involved.
And sometimes it's, it's not just, I call it, I classify two different ways. You got cheating, and then you got unintentional cheating. And a prime example of that is, I'm not afraid to throw myself under the bus. This past SpeakyB, we was out there, I was crawling in the snake. Somehow, I'm not even going to get into that topic today, I got shot in the back of my foot on the bottom of my sole. How? I don't know. But we'll go with it, that happened to me. You can't feel that.
Yeah.
Or if you're getting there and somebody shoots you in your tank, you can't feel that.
Mm-hmm.
But this past weekend at Public Play, pop somebody in the mask, you may not feel that, but it's very evident you just got popped, because your ears ring if you've ever been shot in a mask. You hear it, it's loud. You get shot on your arms, your chest, any of that. It's kind of hard to argue.
Yeah.
But, I see the refs, and sometimes I feel like I've been called out, playing on the SpeakyB field, and I never got shot. It happened at one of the tournaments. I was behind the bunker, reloading a mag, and somehow I got shot, apparently. But I was behind the bunker, probably not even, I usually I'm real tight on that bunker, because I know cross fields can see me if I step back off of it. Tight on the bunker, reloading, and I got my gun up to go here. Didn't even come back around the corner yet. Ref goes, "Hey, you just got hit. Hit you in the arm." Dude, what? And then he said, "You got hit." And I just said, okay. That goes back to not being toxic. I'm not going to sit there and argue with the ref. I'm just going to go out.
Yeah.
And then if it's something that causes us to lose the whole thing, then I will step in and say something. But you got refs that will call. I feel like they call stuff just to say they're calling people out and acting like they're doing a job. But then you got some refs that are legit.
Yeah.
And this isn't just SS. They've got some good refs. I'm not saying they're bad refs. They've got good refs. But this is any field. And this is not just a Georgia thing, a South Carolina thing, or a Cali thing. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you talk to them, you hear it.
What's your thoughts on, while we're on that topic, what is your thoughts on, it's weird, SpeakyB has their rules and how they have it set up, but it feels like it always changes, or it's per field and how they have it. But I saw it a lot at Project N1, that during the match, everything went down, that round was over, they called out a specific player, and they said, this player cheated, that round's canceled, goes to the other team. And it goes back and forth. Do you like that, or do you like, at SS, they're usually known for doing it, is you'll be playing, and they'll walk up to the guy and be like, hey, you got hit, you're out, or step off the field, or whatever. Or do you like it that way? Do you rather, what's your thoughts on it?
How do you win if they're not pulling the cheater? So I like it that they pull them out. The only thing I will say is I will like anything as long as it stays consistent. Mm-hmm. Don't pull the player out. Certain, this time we go up there, they may pull the players. Next month we go up there, they may not pull the players. I don't care what they do. I just want it to stay consistent throughout. And that's how I look at it. Either way, I see the pros and cons to both sides. I see the pros and cons for the refs getting possibly lit up. I see, the pros of getting the cheater out so that team can win. I don't care what you do. Just do it every time.
I don't know the correct way of doing this, but the problem we ran into, I think there was a situation, and I'll call this one out, because it wasn't a big deal, and that's the thing about the whole thing. And we had these discussions. Is we can go home, said, man, that stinks, and move on. It's not a big deal. But the situation we ran into was one team got called out for cheating, and like it was clear as day. They said, man, you are not calling it, and pulled him out. Then they pulled. I think this is when you got hit in the back of the shoe or whatever, and then you got called out. Fair, he got hit, but no big deal. Again, it was no problem. But he wasn't calling it. The guy, not you, but the other guy, was not calling it, got pulled out, got a penalty. You got hit in the back of the shoe, got pulled out. We also got a penalty. I guess we were the team, so I'm saying that it sucks because we were that team. But if it was another team, that's still, I feel like there should be some adjustment to that, some fix, because you didn't know. The other guy was clear as day doing it, and even everybody said he was doing it. But you got hit in the back of the shoe by one BB, and that ref caught it. I feel like that you shouldn't be penalized for an accident compared to a hitting in the mask, hitting in the shoulder, arm, like in a clear spot. Do you think no? Cheating's cheating. They got to catch it, or
I say cheating's cheating. I mean, who's to say that I didn't? I'm not saying I did, but who's to say I didn't?
You cheater! You heard it here, folks. Live on TROD podcast. We got a cheater. Just kidding.
But
sorry.
It's one of those things. Like it's who's to say that they did or didn't feel it? Who are you to say what I felt? Mm-hmm. So, but what I felt like should have happened is that round should have been canceled. We should have went to another round because. And then I'm gonna get mad again. But there was a rule that I had never heard of in a day in my life brought into play that day, which caused us to lose. I've never heard of that rule. That rule is nowhere in the Speaky Bee rule book to be found. I looked right after we got off the field. I've never heard of it. All I want is I love Speaky Bee. I love the company. They know I love them to death. I'm good friends with all the guys. I just want it to be consistent everywhere we go. I don't want there to be no. I feel like in the 2 years we've been playing, we should know the rules. I was a little caught off guard when a rule popped up that I had never in my life heard of.
Yeah, and we review the rules every year because there's things that change. Like 2 years ago, you had to have, 3 years ago maybe it was. It could have been 4. I don't know.
2 years ago, you talking about the M4 mags adapters?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, because it was only you can use extenders, and that's it. Like a 50-round extension on your Tokyo Marui, and that's pretty much it. Or any pistol you have, you can use a 50 round, but that was it. But then they adapted to the M4 mag, which again I'm not much of a fan of. As a pistol player, I think it's great because now I have more shots. But as a rifle player, and I guess just because I'm a rifle player, I'm the backline player. But I feel like the whole point is trying to get your guy up there and use those precise shots, and now he has more of a mag to shoot from. So I feel like it kind of cut back a little bit, but. The rules are always changing, so we have to check every year. But changing from month to month and maybe from facility to facility kind of makes things difficult.
Yeah, I agree. And, I'm not bashing Speaky Bee. I'm not bashing SS, so don't take that from this. But, it's like anything. You want it to be consistent. And I'm not saying it's inconsistent because 99.1% of it is.
Yeah.
Other than that one little thing. So I can't say, oh, they're doing it wrong, or oh, they're doing it bad. No, they're doing fine. They're doing a great job. Why else would we keep driving an hour and 45 minutes every month?
Why else is it traveling to overseas? Like, that overseas facility is, one of these days, I'm going to go there. I want to go there so bad because it's so nice. But how do you think they're growing like they are? It's because they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, we just need to keep it consistent across the board, and that's it. I mean, just it's hard to, because there's evidently rules that they implemented in California play that we are not accustomed to or have never heard of here in Georgia. So, it's okay. It's not bad, but just staying consistent is probably the only thing. But it's water under the bridge, man.
Yeah, it's definitely not a big deal. And that's what you rely on the refs and everything for is as long, if they're doing everything that they're supposed to do and we believe it, then we're just going to walk away from it. It is what it is. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it benefits us. What does it take to... We talked about this in the last one, but I want to get a little bit more detailed. What does your gun need to be capable of doing to compete in Speedsoft? I say that is...
Speedsoft or SpeedQB?
speed soft because we're trying to define the sports. I love saying speed QB because that's what we're toned to, but a perfect example is I want to go to 413.
Bro.
Some of these kids that want to go to 413.
To have a gun to play speed soft, you just need a gun.
I used to say that, and I think I said that on the last time. But you take a rental gun and play speed soft, there's no chance. I'm sorry, but no chance.
I would then we'll up it to just an entry level platform.
Okay.
That's it. Now, if you're going speed QB, it's a whole different ball game in my opinion. But just to play public play, fast paced run and gun type shooting, just an entry level gun.
I think that you could practice and compete and learn with an entry level gun playing speed QB. I'm talking about showing up in practice that you can play with. I mean, honestly, I'm a big fan of G&G with what they have. I mean, obviously you have your Crytex, you have a KWA. I really want a KWA. I haven't got one yet. But I mean, you can get all these higher end guns or better component guns. But the G&G, like the SSG1, is a perfect example because it technically was built for the platform of Speedsoft. That's a $269 gun, and I guarantee you can compete, practice, baseline with that gun. Do I think you can win a national tournament or Southeastern tournament or anything like that with that gun? Absolutely not. No, there's no way chance. Because there is a huge difference from a professional or higher grade. It was funny. They talked about professional on that little chat. They said, what's it take to be a professional player? And Dima goes, professional? Is that really a title we have now? I was like, yeah, I guess. I think professional is you getting paid for it. But anyways, no, I don't think you can take a baseline gun and go compete against the championship. But you're trying to get into the sport. I think absolutely. I think you could use it.
I mean, you can. I think a lot of it, too, not to sound like I'm cocky, but in the defense, it depends on who the player is. I mean, I believe if you gave LTD a bunch of stock, or SYG a bunch of stock ARP 5.56s, and you gave a mediocre team built guns, I think they're going to run through them still.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it just depends who it is.
Yeah.
But the average Joe, I don't know.
I think if you gave
in a public play aspect for a speed soft player, you can play with whatever the heck you want.
Yeah.
But to go to a speed QB field, I don't know. It's a hard topic.
Well, and the reason
it's so opinionated. It's not fact based.
Yeah, it's not, and that's the whole thing about HBA or AEG. Which one should you have? Which one do you have? And this kind of stuff. And I think times have changed. Sometimes I think AEG. Sometimes I think HBA. I think it's whatever you feel most comfortable with. Which kind of brings me to the fact of what should you learn to build your AEG or HBA? Is it worth? Should you learn to build it? Like you should be able to know how to build it completely from scratch. Is it worth that hassle to know, or is it like not worth the hassle? Hey, I'd rather have a friend, buddy,
you
or
could
something.
Actually expand that open. Is it worth knowing how to tech on your gun? Period.
Well, and that's kind of where I'm leaning into because some of these guys are just handing guns to these shops, and nothing against them. If you don't know, you don't know. Especially if you don't know at all and you do it, shame on you. I don't know what to tell you because there is a happy medium. We have friends of ours, will say, that will take their one and only gun and take it completely apart just to change a spring or change something small. I put a trigger in for no reason. They'll take it completely apart and then have no idea to put it back together. So then it ends up at the shops. It ends up at your friend's house or anything like that. So I think that's a big no-no. But do I think that you should get a second gun or a junk gun or something like that and learn how to take it apart and put it back together? Always. I think 100%.
I think it's like anything. You should be able to do the basic stuff to anything. It saves money, saves time, and it allows you to know your gun or whatever you're using better to understand that gun. So if it is, something's off with it, if you built it and you've done it, you'll know what's wrong with it. It's not, well, they put it together. I really don't know. Mm-hmm. But, if I'm shooting a gun that I built and something lags up on, I'm like, okay, I probably know what that is. Let me go fix it real quick. Versus, well, guys, I'm done for the day. Got to drop it off the shop set. It'll be done in 2 weeks, so I'd be a while before I play. No, I just go home, fix it, order a part if I need to. It's simple.
I think I'm a reputable tech man. I'm definitely not a workshop or anything like that, but I think I can work on a gun and make it perform. But I know for a fact that if I was in California, had a local shop that like Umbrella or anything that was nearby, I'd still be taking my stuff to there, even though I know how to work on my gun, because they know stuff a lot more than I do. And they're experts at it. I might know how to shim a gearbox pretty good, but I bet you they know how to do it 10 times better. So I think that you should learn how to take a gun, so understand what it needs to, especially what it needs. And I can go back to racing. I went to school for my race car. I went to school with my dad. He was my crew chief. We went to classes together. But I didn't tech on the car. I helped him, but he set up the car. So I learned what I needed to do. So in airsoft, if your gun's not performing like you want to, at least you know, hey, I think I need a new motor. Hey, I think I need a stronger spring. Hey, I have no compression between the piston and the nozzle. I mean, you can learn those aspects of it, which will make you a better player or at least better tech guy. But I'm not saying you have to do it. I just think you should know at least the basics or to understand. But what do you think? When you're looking for a gun to compete in the top level, what are you looking for in a gun?
Does it look cool?
Does it look cool? That's exactly what it is. Is it
real,
red?
For real. That's what I look for. I'm like, man, if that thing looks cool, or prime example. I just bought a turd gun off of one of the teammates. It's a turd. It looks terrible, but what I see is what it could be. I see so much potential in that little scrawny turd that I bought. The inside of that turd is beautiful-ish, but the outside is ugly.
You ever see? No, I'm sure everybody that has seen this. Fast and Furious, when they in the first movie, when he rolls up with the
Bro, pop the hood.
Yeah,
pop the hood.
Well, go all the way till he pulls up in the tow truck of the God, I'm blanking out on that. What car that was?
It's a Supra.
Yes, with the 2JC. Sorry, I'm sorry. I could tell you the engine, but I blanked out. I apologize. But he pulls up with the Supra with the 2JC in it, and he does. He said, "Pop the hood," and that's where they saw the 2JC. So if you're buying, I think that's when I'm as a techie guy. When you showed me that gun, I grabbed it and I go, "Yeah, we make some good out of it." And then I shook it and said, on the inside. I was like, well, we're going to have to replace everything in it, but we can make something out of it. But what are you looking for when you're going to build your gun? Is there anything specifics? Because and I had the question asked, and there's nothing against it because I was the same way before I understood it. Is how fast can my gun shoot? Do I need to make it 50 rounds a second? Do I make it 60 rounds a second? Is that what I need to compete? And it's not. It's nowhere near it.
If I'm looking for a gun, an AG, or even an HPA that's not pre-built, like an MTW or something, I'm looking for something that's compatible with at least 90% of the market. Because I know I can find parts, I can do parts, I can get whatever I need to make it what I want. Obviously, if I'm going to build something, I'm going to look at what I like aesthetics as the main part of the body. I don't look at rails. I don't look at stocks. I don't look at none of that. It's super easy fixes. I don't look at that. But I look at the internals. Is a G&G gearbox better than a Lancer Tactical gearbox? I mean, I look at those things. As far as a pistol, if it's not Tokyo Murray, I'm not looking at it. I'm just being honest.
No, it's fine. I was, what you keep talking about, even building the AEG, is like, man, I don't think about any of those things. Some of them are parts compatible? I'm like, yeah, I guess I should. I didn't think about any of those things. Me, what I'm looking for in a gun is it that trigger pull? What's the trigger feel like? Is the length long enough? But you're known to have your flashier guns. My guns are Frankensteins. I put a 5.56 lower on a what was it? A Predator upper with some janky Crytek stock, and my stuff looked like it was Frankenstein. But hey, it shot.
I mean, it shot. I don't know. I'm weird about it. It's like, all my guns, most people know that they are like somewhat flashy. I don't get into all the Cerakote stuff. That's just too much in my opinion. But adding that flare, yeah, but I know when I go out and buy a gun, 9 times out of 10, and by the time I'm done with it, it's not going to look like that. I mean, I ordered a TM Glock, and then the day later, I ordered almost $500 worth of parts. That gun don't even look the same. The only thing that looks the same is the lower. Same way with the high cap, as I change out slides, I do all that. I don't care, because if you show me a stock TM, I'm like, man, that's ugly. I don't care nothing about that. I want that gun because it's so good and well made, and it's compatible with 99% of the high cap market. You give me a G&G ARP 5.56. Yeah, I want that because it's compatible with 99% of the market. You know, that's what I look at, because I don't know. I don't keep stuff stock.
See, I'm not much of a pistol guy. I'm getting more and more understanding of pistols, and I'm excited because now I kind of understand them. I still have a lot to go when it comes to the pistols, but I'm very strong when it comes to AEGs. But it's funny because I don't think about, and that's where, when you said think about what's compatible even in AEG, I don't think about that. It should. I really should, because there's things that don't work together with other parts, or things that work better with this or better with that, or these go together. But I think you've grown up with the TM background that you have to pick and choose your parts, because some things don't work with others.
Look at like a good example of a gun that is so bad looking. The Crytek Vectors. I think those guns are awesome, but the way the gearboxes are designed and everything, I'm gonna pass. Mm-hmm. It's just it's not compatible with a lot of the market, even suppressors and all. It's not me. I mean, I'd love to have one, but I don't like a stock gun. So
the whole airsoft, I thought, and I'm not real familiar with it when it comes to the background hard roots style of it, but airsoft was like a way you can play cops and robbers with real guns, but with airsoft.
It's just grown. It's for grown men that want to go in the military but too scared to go shoot a real gun. As my wife says, future wife, she says it's just for a bunch of grown men that just get out there and they want to play cops, they want to play military men, and they don't have the balls to go out and do it. That's what she says.
That's what she says. Is that what we're playing off of? I guess
that's what she says. But no,
what I was going to say is, so this SSG-1 is where I was leading to, that the gun, when it comes to Speedsoft, for a beginner player, is phenomenal. But as somebody that's, I would say like a Milsim player, that's the most ugliest thing in the world as a Milsim player.
Absolutely. It still is as a Speedsoft player. It's ugly as junk.
It's as a tech guy, and I guess as a Speedsofter, the grip is good, the stock is dropped, and the trigger is good. I was like, I'm okay, I'm all right.
It looks like you honestly bought a gun, put a wanky drop stock on it, and put a PVC pipe tube on the end of it.
I'm not a fan. I understand the whole PVC.
Retarded.
I understand the whole PVC or the rounded cylinder and everything, because there's not really a reason for it. In Milsim, some of them guys, their whole railing is covered in something.
I'm a big fan of Milsim guns, by the way. I think they're very, very cool. Just throwing that out there.
And if I have to carry a 30-pound gun, I'm not much of a fan. I'd rather mine be 5 pounds, and I think that's why I'm okay with the SSG-1. I will change some exterior parts on it because I'm still not a fan of it. But it's funny because all these kids, players that aren't hardcore, that aren't professional SpeedQB or are trying to become, you know where I'm going, that they looked like that gun before it even came out. That gun looked...
The tap, well, I'm not saying the tap barrels are like PVC pipes. Them things are bad. But you look at that, I mean, it just looks like a ripped-off tap airsoft carbon fiber outer barrel.
But as a tech guy, the internals of that, as a baseline, I'm pretty impressed with. I was impressed with the G&G 5.56 and the ARP-9, mainly the 5.56, but the ARP-9, with what it had on the inside, it was a great starter gun. It does have some plastic pieces that you know are going to break, or you know you're going to have problems with. But technologies came a long way with airsoft, and SSG-1 is a perfect example of where they've came and where airsoft is going to. But all right, well, we're gonna wrap it up. We hit 9:34, so a little over an hour, even with our stumbles and our falls with sound and everything else. I don't see anybody. Is there actually people watching? That'd be pretty cool if there is. I expected nobody on this round. But I don't see any questions, which was going to be the end of this. So I'm going to wrap it up with this. What is what's our plans for 2021?
The TRD 2021 plans. April, we're going to chill out again. Maybe jump in, play maybe 1 round, 2 rounds of public play. Maverick's got a kid on the way.
Which, by the way, is Maverick.
Yeah, Maverick has another kid named Maverick has a kid named Maverick coming. So we're waiting on Goose to come next. Top Gun reference for you young bloods. Anyways, we are gonna take next month, chill out, and then what comes after April, May?
Yeah,
I always have to sing the months. I'm serious, dude. But May, we're gonna jump back into Speak QB, and we'll run it through the rest of the year. TRD, we always get these questions every year, never fails, from December to about February. Are you guys even a team? Yes, we haven't went anywhere. We do this every year. We take a little break from December to February. Enjoy the New Year's,
I would say as some of those speed soft guys are, we take a pretty big break. But it's nice because it seems like throughout the year, especially seems like towards the end of the year, we're like airsoft this, airsoft that, like week after week after week after week. It's really starting to cram down because of tournaments and games and keeping up and make sure we're ready. And we're crammed on so much. And then finally, it seems like at the end of November, right when December hits, it's just like, just kind of relax.
I mean, and we got other hobbies. This isn't our life. This is something we do for fun. We don't get paid for this. We don't do nothing. This is just something we enjoy doing with our brothers. I mean, he does the dirt track racing, does videography, pictures. He does all that. That's his other hobbies. I shark fish. I do a lot of deer hunting, hog hunting with kids. I take special needs kids. Just got back into the dirt bikes. I mean, we do other things. Hamp, he does tennis, and that's a big part of his life. I mean, he'll probably end up taking it somewhere. Mm-hmm. You got Z-Wit. He's big into the dirt bikes. Always has been. You got Will. He's huge into the skateboarding scene, computer scene, like doing the PC stuff. He's got stuff going on like that.
I just think between that December all the way up to, I think usually it's about April when we start picking it back up every year. That's 4 months of nothing. But
keeps the drive alive.
Correct. When we bring it back, perfect example for me is when we, this past week, hey, we're getting ready, we're going to do a public play at Battle Cat. Other than my HPA gun, which I can't even use, the only thing I had was the pistol. And I was like, all right, I got to get ready for this year. So I ordered a bunch of parts and ordered stuff to get ready for this year. And it got me pumped up. And then I started watching more YouTube videos of Speed QB and then watching some videos of 413. And I just all right, yeah, I'm ready for this year. It's taking that big break got me excited for this year. So yeah, we're definitely a team. We're definitely going to do exciting things in this year. He's probably going to take a break from 413. Like I said, if I come back and have great results or have a lot of fun, maybe I could talk him into it. But
I'll go to 413 when you go play outdoor.
Okay. We keep talking about going outdoor. He at least has been outdoor last year. Something's either always came up with me or God gives me rain when we're supposed to go. So whichever one, but I have not been outdoor, even though we keep talking about it. I even have the gear for it and everything like that. I just haven't went. So I am going to do a 413 this year, whether it be by myself and I'll travel with some other speed softers from our area, or I take a lot of our team or some of our team. But I'm going to eventually go there and see what the hype's about. I need to learn. I need to learn to play speed soft. I need to learn to play speed QB. And if I can get a field that has the same concept, I guess, of speed QB, I'm going to test it out.
You try 413's public play. Change your lens in your dye mask. Make sure you strap a couple flashlights on your gun and a bunch of batteries because it is dark, son.
Yeah, I have not done their public play. I definitely need to. Never mind. I'm going to stick with the splash shot first. I'm going to try that out. We'll see how it goes from there. But
Godspeed.
I need it. But all right, guys. Well, we appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, please hit us up. If you guys want to hang out with us, whenever we're going to SS or you want to go to SS and you want us to go with you, let us know. We'd love to join more teams from our area. Same thing with 413. If you're like, hey, we're going up there, you guys want to join, I'll probably be down to join. If you have any technical questions, I can try to answer. I'll give you what knowledge I do have. I am not no umbrella or any special tech from any big company. I am a nobody that does stuff here, but I've had tested a couple things and I have some ideas, so I can help you out in that aspect. As for pistols, he can probably help you out too. But let us know if you guys have any questions. Other than that,